Hello there, this is Lyle Benjamin for Planned Acts of Kindness, and I'm going to go ahead and talk about the, the business side of what we do, even though we're a nonprofit, and how you can go ahead and benefit from that. So we have programs for obviously volunteers. We have an internship mentorship program that's utilized by colleges and universities around the country, where we teach in over 20 different disciplines, and we add in our 8 foundation skills. So regardless of what people come in for their real world experience training, we add in communication, business, marketing, management, office technology, research, problem solving, and time management. These are the skills that everyone needs to have operating collaboratively in order to be really a transition from being a worker into management and leadership roles. So we have programs where you can come in and be part of our internship mentorship program, but you can actually do a dual program where, based on the work that you do in the business side, whether it's business, marketing, outreach, engagement in different areas, that actually produces income for the organization, you can actually earn based upon the results of what you do. And if you're doing it as part of a team, then your team will earn income, and then that can be divided up among team members. But as you know, sometimes when you're in a group, not everyone contributes in the same way. So when you go ahead and qualify because your team has done something positive and it resulted in a sponsorship for our organization or a bulk book purchase, okay, we will go ahead and determine how much your team is going to get, and then you're going to submit your team will submit a sort of like a compensation benefits outline. And then we'll go ahead and approve that, because not everyone might have contributed to that project equally. And we're all about, right, doing things equitably. Okay. Also, you're out of school, you're in the workforce, and you might already have a job. You might be looking for something to do that's along the lines of things that we do. We will go ahead and give you opportunities to come in and make a difference. You can train remotely, and we don't require that you know everything in advance in order to be successful. You have to make connections, whether you're doing it through LinkedIn or through your own connections on your cell phone, or through your connections through another organization that you're part of, whether it's a school, religious organization, a NPO, NGO, a government organization, or even a business. Because you might be working for a company and you can bring our programs to top management and do the introduction. And if they adopt one of our programs, right, and then not only will you get acknowledgement and recognition for that, well, there might be financial rewards as well. So the thing is, it's really not limited, only by whether you take action or not. And we have our book programs. So our 16 things we all can do to act right and help save the planet. And we have media kits and pitch decks and all the things you need for us to present to the people that you introduce us to. And they can do book branding, where if they're a sponsor, they would get on the cover of the book. They would have forward by their CEO or their president. They would have a chapter in the book about their corporate social responsibility mission, and they would receive up to 8 pages in full color in the book to promote whatever they're interested in promoting, whether it's products, programs, whatever. And they could get back up to 55,000 books that they can use as giveaways to promote what we're doing, as well as obviously their organization. Plus, they'd automatically be featured as the sponsor in workshops that are being done in conjunction with the book, where when every workshop meeting is started by acknowledging who the sponsor is, because that helps, right, defray the cost and make actually the cost of the workshops free. So there's tremendous opportunity for them to leverage what we're doing on the publishing side and the engagement side with their corporate social responsibility mission. But it doesn't end there. There's additional benefits that they can get from sponsoring. Whereas with most normal NPOs, what they get is their name on, their logo on a website, their logo on a banner, and their logos included in emails. What we do is we give them significant exposure with repetition that reaches large audiences of people who are going to use the information and hang on to the books for a very long time and refer to them and refer them. I've done everything from national newsstand publishing to publishing of books, reference books, and also games. And when I did my national newsstand magazine, which was psychology based on helping people get the most out of all their relationships, we reached a large audience, and the audience was very engaged with the publication, and the publication was supported actually by the psychological community as well. But the thing is, with advertising, literally 90% of readership doesn't pay attention to the ads. The 10% that do might not be interested in the message at the time. And then what happens to most magazines after a few weeks? They get thrown away, taking the advertising dollars with them. Okay, our magazine had a little bit longer, shelf life because of the content, but still. So later, when I had a very successful meeting and event company in New York that handled corporate events from product launches to meetings and conferences and social events, not only in the New York area, but in other states and even other countries. What happened is I put out a reference book, and that was a literally 250-page, 8.5 by 11 book that was sold in Barnes & Noble and other places, and companies and organizations would get the book, and each of the locations and services in the book would have a index number, basically, and they would call up and tell us about their event and tell us which facilities and services they were interested in. And we would ask them what edition of the book do they have. And we would get calls from people who had the first edition of the book that was published 10 years earlier, where our contact information had changed. And they would look us up, find us, and then say, hey, I got your book. I'm interested in blah, blah, blah. And we would still help them. So that's the utility of a reference book. So When I was creating our book series for 16 Things, which is our first nonprofit, what I did was I created a hybrid publishing style that's never been done before in the industry. It takes the large volume and full color of a magazine and puts it into a reference book format that has tremendous utility and shelf life, and then adds in the interactive part of workshops. Never been done before like that. Okay, so you have the opportunity to go ahead and be a part of that and get your name in the book. Go ahead and bring that book to people who really go ahead and need the information. And we all did, whether it's a book on mental health, whether it's a book on civility and social responsibility, whether it's a book on sustainability, whether it's a book on food loss, hunger, and waste, okay, whether it's a custom book, whatever the subjects are, we can adapt to our book format. We can help fulfill the objectives of the organization. Okay, so that's our 16 Things book series. We have our COVID-19 books and our memorial books. They can sponsor those as well. And we have our The Working Dead, our financial literacy book. And that forms the basis of Money Matters Mastery. That's not only a workshop, but also we're developing an online course for that, where people can go ahead and get certified in the 8 foundation disciplines of communication, business, marketing, management, office technology, research, problem solving, and time management. Because if you have these skills on your resume as a certification from the organization that created the program for this, that carries a lot of weight. And if you volunteered or been an intern with us or worked with us and you get a letter of recommendation, that carries a lot more weight than just submitting a resume alone. Because that's independent verification that you actually have done what's in your resume and that you can do that successfully in the real world. That's what employers want to see. And if you're involved with any of our programs and you've gotten your name in a book, or you've gotten on an app or a website, and we help you develop your portfolio, even in industries that don't require portfolios, that makes a huge difference, because you can present and have verified the work that you did, because we make it quantifiable whenever possible. And if you like what you're doing, when you volunteered or interned or somehow been associated with our organization and you're successful and you enjoy it, well, we'll work with you to turn it more into a career position, because we need people like you. We need people who have gone through our program, who understand the objectives that we're doing and wants to make a difference in the world, and has demonstrated that they have the 4 qualities that they need to be successful within our program. It's not about the skills. The skills we can go ahead and help you develop. It's about your characteristics, your qualities. 1, do you have the desire to be aligned with our programs? Don't have to be aligned with all of them. There can be just 1 or 2 that you really like. That's fine, that you want to work with. That's absolutely fine. But 2, do you have the determination to go ahead and take it to the next level? It's easy to do the things that we know how to do. And growing up, we learned how to be good students. We know how to do that. We know how to go ahead and get tasks, take exams, and then be successful. But that isn't how the real world works. We want you to have the determination to make things happen in the real world, not just on paper, not just through assignments, okay? And that's what we're going to work with you to develop. 3, you've got to have that willingness to learn, because you might have 10 years experience, 5 years experience doing it for a company even, but not a company like ours, not an organization like ours. We are disruptive, but we do it in a positive way. Even our game, One Planet, One People, the fight for survival of the human race. Everyone who plays the game plays on the same team. Everyone on that team adopts a country or countries that they want to play, that they want to represent. They get to dive into the world video map and see videos from people in the countries and countries around the world, sharing, right, their civility pledge, planned acts of kindness and problems. And they get to work on those actually, right, in life, not only in the game. And the thing is, you adopt those countries that you want to represent, you move their flag around the globe. And the globe is represented, and the playing board is represented by the, sorry for not pronouncing this right, the Dharma wheel from Buddhism, with the 8 spokes, right, and the things that we have to learn for a harmonious life. Well, the thing is, there happen to be 8 continents on this planet. There's also another continent that most people aren't aware of, Zealandia. And the thing is, your goal is to take your country and form teams with other countries, and then to take those teams and form coalitions, groups of countries, and place those on the different continents before the tipping points happen. So everyone who plays the game is on the same team. It's about collaboration, it's about making a difference. And while you're doing this, you get to learn about the tipping points, the issues of climate change, pollution, overpopulation, pandemics, war, and terrorism, how they're affecting us today, how they're going to affect us down the road when they start to really tip, but what we can do to make a difference. And you can go ahead and make a difference by partnering with us on our books, on our courses, on our activities, on our programs, on our games even, right? And then you get to learn where you can benefit from that personally and even on a career basis. And the last book and program that we have, well, not the last one, is our the Working Dead program. And with that, we have also financial literacy and planning courses that are available that can be used in organizations and companies. And then also we have our custom benefit programs. And these are programs designed to help people build for their future, not by going through what the company gives you, which is either no plan at all, or a plan that benefits Wall Street and benefits the government through increased taxation, or benefits the company because all they have to do is give you a very small match and they can go ahead and say, here, be happy with this free money, when it's not really free. They're not giving you, you might work for that company for 10, 20, 30 years. They're not giving you a pension that's going to help you in retirement. They're giving you a place where you can go ahead and put your money where it's at risk, where you can go ahead and lose it 6 months, a year before your retirement, where you can go ahead and work for the federal government and then have a shutdown and have 700,000 people out of work, where a month later, they can't even afford groceries, let alone pay their rent. That's not a good system. That's the country that we have today. That's the change that we need to have today for tomorrow's quality of life. Okay? So the programs that we put people in that you can learn how to do and how to share are programs that protect people. When they put their money into their retirement, it's 100% protected against loss. Any growth that they get from year to year is added to their principal. So it becomes their money, as opposed to the market, the stock market, where it's just paper money. You can have 3 years worth of growth. It's not your money until you pull it out. And if you pull it out from your retirement account, guess what? You've got penalties and taxes. So the programs we put people in are the programs the rich wrote for themselves. We make that available to everyone, where the billion-dollar companies that offer it to the rich won't make it available to you directly, but they will to us. So the thing is, when you go ahead and put your money in, it's safe, it has growth, and it has protection. Okay, so it's protected against market loss, but also anything happens to you, your family still has expenses. They still have the rent, they still have the mortgage, they still might have, right, your siblings' college education to do. So there's a lump sum of money that's available. It's a hybrid. It's investment plus insurance. This is the protection part of it. And if you don't need to go ahead and use that money for other things, you can actually tap into it for your own retirement later on in life. So it acts as a supplement for your own retirement. And the number one cause of bankruptcy in this country is actually healthcare related. Not from going ahead and, breaking your arm or needing your tonsils removed, right? But from long-term care, chronic care, Alzheimer's, dementia, things which today 7 out of 10 people are going to be afflicted with during their lifetime. The average cost for long-term care in this country for one person is over $250,000. Ask yourself, how many people do you know that have $250,000 in the bank? The answer is not many. So with my grandmother who needed this, we had to sell her condo in order to go ahead and pay for her health care. We had to spend down, right, obviously her bank accounts. Only when she was bankrupt did the government come in and then say, okay, she can go to this facility. This is the quality of life she's going to have. That's not a great system. My neighbor across the street from me in Queens, in New York, his children sold their house, their family house that had been in their house had been in their family for literally like 50 years. They sold it for $150,000 below market because they needed the money quickly to pay for his health care. That's not quality of life. So these are the things that people, average, ordinary people need protection against that unfortunately is not being provided by our employers, okay, or by our government. And lastly, when you need your money the most, you need to be able to pull it out, and you can't have penalties on it, and you can't have taxes on it. And if you have your money in a retirement plan that's offered by your company, you got both. But guess what? The programs that the rich put their money into, to the IRC code, they got neither of them because they wrote the code to benefit themselves. So you can go ahead and pull money out now if you have a program like this, no penalties at any age. You have an emergency, you can pull money out. You don't have to pay it back. Okay? You have retirement, right? People who think that they're going to go ahead and they've been saving for 30, 40 years for their retirement, and they have a nest egg built up, right, with their company and their 401k, or, well, when you need the money the most, that's when the government's going to tax it. And you have no idea what taxes are going to be in the future. Do you realize that this administration has put over $6 trillion on the books over the last 3.5 years? Trillion with a T, added to 20 trillion that was already there. Okay, actually, right, the revenue for the government is about 3 trillion, so it's adding about 3 trillion to the deficit. Who's going to pay for that? The poor don't pay taxes. The rich, they do everything they can to mitigate their taxes, right? The current person we have in the White House, our president, hasn't paid taxes, as far as we know, for over 25 years. And it said, right, basically, right, I'm smart enough not to pay taxes. Okay. Well, the thing is, that leaves it up to the middle class. So we're the ones, right, who are paying the taxes. And since the tax code, the federal tax code was started in 1913, there have been 62 years where our taxes have been 50% or higher. We are now in a period of having a historical low, but we never had COVID-19 before. So taxes are going to go up. And they're going to go up on your generation when it's hard enough to go ahead and make a living. So you need to do something to protect yourself, your family, and your future. So do it responsibly, but also take advantage of what the rich take advantage of themselves. And that's a program that you can actually learn not only to go ahead and do for yourself and your family, it's independent of going ahead and working for a company where their plans are only available for the workers. They're not available for spouses, not available for children. The plans that we do are available for everyone because everyone needs the benefit. But the thing is, you can learn how to go ahead and help people in this way. And we have different programs to do that. And we have different ways to go ahead and engage. And you can learn how to become, right, a financial advisor that's going to work for the people as opposed to work for companies like that. And you don't have to go to school for 4 years. We can do it in 1 month, 2 months, 3 months. It's up to you. And then you'll have a place where you can work from, no matter where you are in the country, in order to help other people. So we have a multitude of programs, whether they involve sponsorship, whether they involve the books, whether they involve even our courses, whether they involve financial literacy and planning and our custom benefit programs. We have programs also that go into companies on corporate social responsibility issues, where we can go ahead and create a custom app that can help them achieve, right, their objectives by educating their audience on what they want them to do on a regular basis through the app, and then providing recognition and rewards for the people that do it. Okay, that's our corporate Be the Hero social responsibility program. We have a tremendous number of initiatives. All you need to do is to go ahead and get in touch and give us an idea of what you're interested in, and we'll be more than happy to share much greater detail about the programs and then make it work for you. So all you need is desire, determination, willingness to learn, and you're ready to take action on what you learn. You have those 4 qualities. We have the system to help make you successful by being in service to other people. So I hope that this was helpful. I hope it was a little bit educational, and I hope that you will join us and be part of our success team in providing quality of life for other people. This is Lyle Benjamin for Planned Acts of Kindness. Thank you.